Still cool on this. My friends say I should live a little. Need to start saying yes more. I compromise and meet them in the middle. Cause new actions will get you new results. They gave me something to think about. It's life and I'm supposed to live it out. I'm holding on to the universe. Pray that she don't let me down. I'm afraid if I try something crazy, I'ma end up in love, love, love. Cause the world that we live in is crazy and it's difficult to trust, trust, trust. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. Feel what I'm saying, say. If you feel what I'm saying, say. Let's go. Afraid if I try something crazy, I'ma end up in love, love, love. I learned to keep an open mind. I was holding all my blessings down. You never know what you will come to find. Who knew the oil would come from the ground?
People only know what they choose their eyes to see. I know one thing that's for sure, there's so much more we can be.
Don't be afraid to go and try something crazy. You might end up in love, love, love. Cause the world that we live in is crazy and we gotta learn to trust, trust, trust. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. Feeling alive, alive, alive. Feel what I'm saying, say. Yeah, bring it on. If you feel what I'm saying, say. Come on. If you feel what I'm saying, say. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't hear you. If you feel what I'm saying, say. One more time. If you feel what I'm saying, say. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, alive, alive. I'm feeling alive. Feeling alive, alive, alive. Feel what I'm saying, say. Let me hear. If you feel what I'm saying, say. If you feel what I'm saying, say. Let me hear. If you feel what I'm saying, say. If you feel what I'm saying, say.
What makes you blind? I hope to find who I believe in. Get back in line, I can't deny myself. Show me the feeling. Oh, you got me wrong. If you don't belong, live in the trouble. Don't hesitate. Time heals the pain. You ain't the problem. I live the lie, love is the crime. It's you I believe in. No need to blame myself, no need to die. I'm only human. I'm done, you got to put me on. I know if you come along, don't hesitate. myself, you are the one, do all the talking. You got me wrong, I caught you falling, I hear you calling, don't hesitate. Time heals the pain, you ain't the problem. I live the dream, I hope to be who I believe in. I used to hate myself, you got the key, break out the prison. Oh, I hope to never see time passing, don't hesitate. Time heals the pain, you ain't the problem.
Tell me, baby, on singing me a melody so sweet. Kiss your lips as you said away through my tears. Slip and let the rain fall on me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. Ain't nothing wrong. I wanna get back in that moment. Feel the joy that I felt right there. Tell me you remember that moment. Tell me that you still Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that, mama. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, mama. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. Wanna be back in that moment. Feel the joy I felt right there. Tell me you remember that moment.
We're gonna go to the
Tell me
ballhouse
that
now,
you
Kurt.
still care. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
vehicle, please move to your vehicle and practice social distancing. Thank you. Now please welcome Pennsylvania Democrats Vice Chair and State Senator Sharif Street.
Philadelphia, are we ready? Are we ready to vote for health care? Are we ready? Are we ready to vote for a president that will work to bring us together? Are we ready to vote for a president that when people freely express themselves, he won't try and incite violence, but will try and bring us together to solve problems? Are we ready? Are we ready to vote for a president? Are we ready to vote for a president that understands that you don't make the country better or great by trying to take away the health care of 28 million Americans and 82 million Americans who have pre-existing conditions? Are we ready to vote for a president that understands that we should be expanding access to health care and that being a woman is not a pre-existing condition and that he shouldn't go to court for it? Are we ready to get back to be the country that accepts people, your huddled masses, and understands that we're the land of opportunity, not the land and the country that puts children in cages? We need to recognize, and right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to do what everybody around the world is watching and everybody around the country. You know, there are so many people that are concerned about whether their communities will be safe and whether children will continue to have to do active shooter drills when they're only in the kindergarten. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will work to make sure that that doesn't happen. And they're not going to take away the rights of hunters, but they are going to make sure that we don't have weapons of mass destruction on the streets of our cities and in our communities. It's unneeded. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris understand that the only way we're going to get our economy back on track is by paying attention to the science. And we're all sitting out here in cars and wearing masks because we recognize there's a problem with COVID. And look, I have friends who've lost their mothers. This is a real disease. It's affected real people. The hundreds of thousands of people that have died is real. It's not a joke to be played with. And we're going to have a president that understands he's going to deal with the pandemic and get us back. And when he does it, he's going to give us a real economy like the one he built the first time with President Obama. We have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to set the world straight. And we can be heroes to help everyone. Heroes to protect health care. We can be heroes to make sure that no matter who you love, where you were born, what the color of your skin is, who and where and how you worship, that this country will continue to respect you, will continue to value your rights. We have a chance to do that. So for all of those people, we need you to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We need you to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because the President of the United States shouldn't be threatening the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and saying he's going to take away resources from the people of Pennsylvania because we didn't let him have a rally. He says he cares about first responders. He says he cares about nurses and supermarket workers, and he says he cares about the firefighters and EMTs that do the work. But when he denies resources to states and state senators like me, when he denies resources to cities like Philadelphia and Allentown and Scranton and Lancaster and Reading and Pittsburgh and Erie, when he denies those resources, that means that all of our first responders are under-resourced, and he doesn't care about the people that are supposed to get help. He doesn't care about them, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do, and they're going to make sure we get the resources to make our country strong. And so we're all out here today, and we're honking our horns, and we're waving flags, and we're having a good time. But what we have to do is remember, we've got to talk to our neighbors. We've got to talk to our friends. We've got to remind people that we in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania have an opportunity to win this election. And when we do it, we're going to make sure that every person and every little child, whether they're a little girl or a little boy, understands that they can aspire to the highest offices of the land. When we do it, we're going to make sure that whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jew, you recognize there's a place for you in this country. When we do it, we're going to affirm that our values aren't about putting children in cages. They're about putting more resources into children's schools. When we do it, we're going to realize that we're going to close the digital divide. And that means that, yes, we're going to do it for inner city children that voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to close the digital divide in the rural areas, because Joe Biden will be the president of all Americans, even those who didn't vote for him. And so I'm thanking you for coming out today, but I'm asking you for the next few days, we've got to continue to work hard. We've got to talk to our neighbors, our friends. We've got to make sure that we push that extra mile, send that extra tweet, make that extra phone call, put up a flyer. We need to make sure that we're able to do this. Now, look, Donald Trump didn't want us to be able to participate in early voting, but you know, we beat him in court, and we had our early voting, and we did a good job with that. Now we've got one final task. And I was a track runner, and when you get to the edge, and you're coming down the final stretch, and you're in the lead, but you never know how far behind the person was. And my track coaches would always tell us, don't look back. Don't slow down. Just keep on running. Let's keep on voting. Let's keep doing what we have. Let's finish this race. Let's make sure that Joe Biden is the president of the United States and Kamala Harris is vice president. Thank you so much.
Now please welcome State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time.
2 days, Pennsylvania. 2 days to remind the world who we are, what we stand for, and what we believe. 2 days to get it done. We've had 4 years of chaos, division, and incompetence. And now we have 2 days to begin the hard work of going in a different direction. 2 days, Pennsylvania. And I know we're here at a rally, and we got signs, and you're getting commercials and getting ads on Facebook. But I came here today to remind you that this election is not about the signs. This election is not about the commercials. This election is about you. This election is about your family. This election is about your community. This election is about your kids' schools. Now, in 2 days, when Pennsylvania elects Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, in 2 days, I want you to imagine with me what the next 4 years could look like. I want you to imagine a world where every kid in every neighborhood goes to a good school, a safe school, where teachers have everything they need to prepare those young people for the future. Imagine that, Pennsylvania. Imagine having a president and a vice president that is looking to expand health care to everybody and not in court trying to take it away. Imagine that, Pennsylvania. I want you to imagine Pennsylvania, where we have a president that's looking out for family farms, looking out for people who are working people, and not just the big guys, folks who are well off and well connected. Imagine a president that actually stands up for working people. Imagine that, Pennsylvania. Are you all ready to imagine a country where when you drop off your young person at school, you don't have a knot in the pit of your stomach, worried that an active shooter will be at the school where you left the person who loves you back? Imagine us actually doing something about gun safety. Imagine it, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, imagine with me a world where we have a president and a vice president that works to bring Americans together, passes the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, passes a budget that centers working people. Imagine that, Pennsylvania. Right here in Philadelphia, not far from here, we've written a lot about what America's supposed to be. We have 2 days to elect 2 people who actually believe in that, who actually believe that an American in Pennsylvania, no matter who you are, who you love, where you're from, how you worship or don't, that this country is for you too. Imagine that, Pennsylvania. So now we have 2 days, 48 hours, to not just imagine it, to not just dream it, to not just think about it, but we have 2 days to get it done for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Let's go get it done.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time.
Please welcome community organizer Jasmine Velez.
Hola, Philadelphia! Woo! I'm Jasmine Velez. It's an honor to be here with you all today. I want to share my story with you and why I believe Joe Biden is the candidate for the President of the United States. My mother and I moved to Philadelphia when I was 5 years old from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico! The memories of that transition stay with me today. There was the fear of moving to an unfamiliar place and the anxiety I felt around going to a new school, making friends, and earning good grades. Imagine the pressure I, like so many others, felt trying to acclimate to this new land without the ability to speak or understand the language. That inability made it difficult for me to connect with the culture of my new home. There were times I lost hope and wanted to give up, but I had the fortunate blessing of having the supportive adults and teachers around me that wouldn't let me fail. Through determination and hard work, my poor marks became A's. I kept excelling to the point where a private school granted me a full scholarship, which afforded me opportunities that would challenge my life and nurture my love of learning. Hard work and support of people around me gave me a real shot at success. Sadly, it's become increasingly hard for people to succeed through hard work and community support alone. Nearly a quarter of students today identify as Latino, but very few have access to the opportunities provided to me. Now, is that fair? Every child deserves access to a quality education and the opportunity to pursue a brighter future without exception. Joe Biden is my candidate because he will work to ensure that every child can fulfill their educational potential, regardless of their race, family income, and their zip code. His commitment to investing in community schools is one that resonates deeply with me, because I know from firsthand experience the importance of having a robust support system. He will make investments into our teachers, school psychologists, nurses, our parents, and will narrow the gap between poor and rich districts. We need not look any further than the future First Lady to understand the Biden's commitment to education. Insto a mi comunidad latina que salgan y voten por Biden el 3 de noviembre, el candidato que no nos abandonará en tiempos de crisis, como hizo con nuestros padres y hermanos y hermanas. El candidato que siempre nos tratará con respeto y dignidad. Joe Biden is the only candidate who will fight for our rights. He will invest in the well-being of brown and black communities and bring back hope to our country. So let's all go out and vote and make him our next president. Todos con Biden.
Please welcome Philadelphia City Council President Darrell Clarke.
What's up, Philly? As the best president in my lifetime said, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? So, Philly, I just need to know, are you ready to end a bad dream? Are you ready to elect the Biden-Harris team? Are you ready to get rid of the divider? Are we ready to elect a unifier? Joe Biden brings people together. He has done this all his life. This is what we need more than any time in our history, bringing this country together. Joe Biden will be the one. You know, as I looked at this election unfold and you see all the TV ads, and every TV ad you see Joe Biden with all different types of people, and you can see the love, right? You can see the caring in his eyes. You can see the empathy. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he had to create a commercial. He literally took the army outside and made all the peaceful protesters get out of the way and went and held the Bible upside down in front of a church. Come on, people. We are better than that. We are better than that. We are better than that. So I can't wait till day one when Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the team gets together. So when I go back to the streets of North Philadelphia and West Philadelphia, I can tell those young brothers out on the corner, there is hope. There will be hope. I can tell those mothers, your opportunity to get your child in school safely, there is hope. We can talk about those individuals that have been on the unemployment line for so long. There is hope because electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will bring hope to the United States of America and all of us. So we got to get out. We got to make this happen. We need 750,000 votes out of Philadelphia. Love you all. We're going to handle this business. See you on election night. God bless you all. Thank you.
Please welcome Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon.
Hi, I'm Mary Gay Scanlon. Welcome to Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District. I don't have to tell you how important this election is. As we battle through one of the most challenging public health crises our country has ever seen, everything is on the ballot. Access to affordable health care and a plan to fight COVID are on the ballot. The environment is on the ballot. Common sense gun safety is on the ballot. And our commitment, a commitment to dismantle systemic racism is on the ballot. We need leaders, public servants who care about this country and have a plan to move us forward. We need Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House. And to elect them, we need the voters in southeastern Pennsylvania to show up in full force to send the Trump administration packing. I never dreamed that I would become a member of Congress, but like so many of you who found their way off the sidelines and into the fight over the last 4 years and even onto the ballot ourselves, I knew that I needed to do more too. So with the help of Indivisible, March for Our Lives, moms and dads who want a better world for their children, and an outpouring of young voters, we flipped the House. We elected more women than ever before up and down the ballot because we showed up. And now we've got to do it again, because when we show up, when we vote, we win. That's our responsibility as Americans. In Ben Franklin's words, we have a republic if we can keep it, so we've got to vote. I'm asking you tonight, make a plan. If you've already voted, help someone else make a plan. Call your friends, tell your family, we've got just over 48 hours. Go vote. If you have a mail-in ballot, take it to a drop box. If you're voting in person, make sure you know where your polling place is and be prepared to wait and be safe. Above all, be safe. Look, we're almost across the finish line. Let's go do it. Thank you.
Please welcome Philadelphia artist Freeway.
Philly, Philly! Philly is where I am from. Check this out. This is a rally, right? This is a rally, right? We got to turn out one time. Say Biden, Harris. Say Biden Harris. Say Biden Harris. Biden Harris. Let's go. Hey. Now clap for me. Hey. Just clap for me. Just play. Okay. Now let's go. Oh. And you got it, mujeres. She says she glow la la. Good side.
My baby mama.
Okay. Check. Freeway got the hood on smash, pop and tech, step on gas and get ghost player. Freeway got the club on lock, step on stage, shut it down, leave with a bro, check for eggs, post up, fan circle the block, call the cops, it's the rock in your area. Post up, distribute to the block, Freeway making rocks in your area. Yeah. Cops trying to shut me down, cops trying to shut me down, haters wanna hit me up, but my carry heavy rounds, Mac carry heavy rounds, packed in the Chevy truck. What? You better ring the alarm before I dump on you and your have all things stuck on you and your mom. Go back to the song. They wanna on me and the boys. That thing look good in the dog. She want me to sneak in the building like Trojan and Roy. Let's believe it. Hey, hat slipped over the oh boy. We Rick Krause. Whole lot of fire and a little bit of bass. It's all it takes to make the place get wild. Whole lot of style and a little bit of cake. It's all it takes to make us get flip side. And a whole bit of bass. It's all it takes to make the block get wild. Turkeys and a little bit of cheese. It's all it takes to make us leave. Holla at your boy. Check this out. I go by the name of Philadelphia Freeway. And the reason why I got involved in politics, because in September 2015, I was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure. I was diagnosed with kidney failure. And a few years before that, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and diabetes. And when I was diagnosed with those ailments, I didn't have health insurance. So fortunately enough, I was able to afford it, but I had to pay for my medicine out of pocket. It was $600-700 a month, and it's really putting a strain on my pockets. It's important that we have health care. It's very, very important that we have health care. I was fortunate, but there's so many people that's in my position that wasn't that fortunate. I'm from the hood, and there's people in the hood that don't go to the doctors because they can't afford to go to the doctors. There's people that don't get their medicine because they can't afford to get their medicine, and that's just a reality. That's our reality. September this year, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. She was diagnosed with a cancer called sarcoma. And if we didn't have health insurance, she would be in a bad position right now. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is pushing for the fact that everybody needs to have health insurance. It's very prevalent in the black community. I was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure, and the symptoms are, and the risk factors are high blood pressure, diabetes, and just being African American is a risk factor. So I had a risk factor as soon as I was born. That's why it's very important that we have health care. All this injustice that's going on in our community needs to come to a stop. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is pushing for that to happen. Like cops killing people, like black on black crime, all these things that's going on in our community needs to come to a stop. And we gotta make change. Change starts with us. Change starts with me, and it starts with each and every one of y'all. So that's why it's very important that we vote this Tuesday. It's so important. I'm here right now. And yesterday, I buried my son. My son died Wednesday. And I'm here, his funeral was yesterday, and I'm here today to talk to you, just to let you know how very important this is to me, how very important this is to my family, how very important this is to my community. So make sure this Tuesday that each and every one of y'all go vote for Biden and Harris. Kamala Harris is the first black woman to make it this far. We owe it to her to make sure that they win this election on Tuesday. That song that I just performed was called Flip Sides. It's time that we flip sides, get Trump out of office, and get Biden and Harris in office. If y'all feeling what I'm saying, I need everybody to put one hand in the air one time and make sure you encourage all your friends and all your family and everybody in your community to vote this Tuesday for Biden and Harris. I'm Philadelphia Freeway, and I love y'all.
Please welcome Senator Bob Casey.
Okay, Philly. I know it's wet out there, so I'm going to be short, but I'm going to start with a question. And I know we haven't practiced this, but I want the next president of the United States to hear you by way of your horns or your voices. Philly, are you ready to win on Election Day? All right. Keep going. That's good. He can hear you. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank you for doing the work you've been doing for weeks and months to make sure that everyone votes in the city of Philadelphia and all throughout southeastern Pennsylvania and all across our Commonwealth, because when we vote, we win. You know, there are a lot of issues at the end of a campaign, right? Lots to talk about. But there is only one candidate and one team. That's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who have a plan to control the virus so we can get back on track in America. That's why we got to make sure we vote. We also know that the faster we get control of the virus, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's plan, we'll be able to put our economy back on track. We've lost too many jobs in Pennsylvania because the president would not implement a plan to tackle this virus. And just look at the numbers. Hundreds of thousands of people out of work in our state who weren't out of work a couple of months ago. At last count, more than 518,000 people out of work. Here in Philly, here's what the number was. In the month of September, 86,100 people out of work. We want a president who's going to help us build back better like Joe Biden will. We also want to make sure that we have a president and a vice president who will wake up every morning to protect your health care. We know that all across this great city, more than 200,000 people got health care because of the Affordable Care Act, and hundreds of thousands more had protections against a pre-existing condition. The only ones who will protect those Americans are Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. No question about it. So, Philly, I know you can do it. You've done it for me in the past. You've done it for presidential candidates and so many other candidates. Let's get out and vote and win. God bless you.
Please welcome the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, Glenn Doc Rivers.
What's up, everybody? I have a question for everyone. Is Philadelphia where great things happen? Is Philadelphia where great things happen? We have so much at stake, everybody. We have so much to do still. I'm coming up to you as your coach today. How about that? So I want you to understand this. We're in the third quarter. The fourth quarter is Tuesday. We have to close the game on Tuesday. That's what our job is to do, for everybody to get out and vote, right? And all of you, my guess is that you voted already, correct? So your job now is to go find your family members, to go find your friends, and to go out and vote and help them vote and bring them to vote and tell them to bring somebody else. And it doesn't matter how long you have to wait in line. Don't leave that line Tuesday. If you're there for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3, don't leave that line. You stay the course. We're winners, right? We are winners, right? Well, winners don't give in. We're not going to be bullied. We're not going to be scared. No one's going to scare us. You know what bullies do? They start using scare tactics when they have nothing to run on, when they have nothing to say. They try to scare you. I'm telling you, be strong and be mighty and vote. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the two people we want to vote for, all right? So we need you to vote. America, let America love us, right? That's what we have to do. This is a country that needs to come together. We have to come together if we want to be great, everybody. And the only way we're going to come together is by Joe Biden being our president and Kamala Harris being our vice president. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Let's go.
moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. And while combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever, ever. We're part of how I love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only be heartbreak for me. I run for the bus stand, but while riding I think of us dear. I say a little prayer for you. And at work I just take time, and on through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever. We're part of how I love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. Nobody but me. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart, and I will love you forever, ever. We're part of how I love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me.
Please welcome Keisha Davis, owner of Cakes by Denise.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can, and I wear my hair like this because I can.
Good evening, Philadelphia. My name is Keisha Davis. I'm going to take my mask off. My name is Keisha Davis. I am the co-owner of Denise's Bakery, along with my business partner, Cynthia Benton. Denise's Bakery has been a fixture in North Philadelphia since my aunt started the bakery in 1990. We've been known for our cakes and pastries, but we're mostly proud of our role in the community. At Denise's, we hire young people interested in baking and have served as a Philadelphia Job Corps site. Our small business doesn't just feed the people, it helps fuel our economy, puts people to work, and makes up the fabric of our community. But while we're looking out for our community, we often wonder who's looking out for us as well. Due to COVID-19, we were forced to close for 6 weeks. We've since reopened, but with large events like weddings and special events being canceled or scaled back, our business growth is uncertain, for sure. The reality is that the fate of our business is uncertain. So despite the economic loss and even greater human loss that Philadelphia has experienced during this pandemic, President Trump has yet to come up with a plan to help develop and support small businesses like ours and keep our communities safe. But the truth is, over the last 4 years, it's not even clear what President Trump has to do with us to help us in places like Philly and our small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses. President Trump has given huge tax cuts to corporations, ultra-wealthy, and while small businesses in Philly, we're still struggling just to keep our doors open. We can't go on like this, so we need a change. We have the power to make it by electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as our next president and vice president of the United States. Joe Biden understands that there's more to small businesses than meets the eye. And without them, our communities would lose jobs, our very own sense of self, our sense of community. That's what he has as a plan to help us recover from this crisis. and ensuring that every small business receives a seat at the table. They need to rehire their workers. We need to recover and restart and cover our expenses and ensure that there's aid that's distributed fairly across all businesses. Looking beyond this current moment, Joe Biden is going to finally give black businesses a seat at the table by making historic investments in minority-owned small businesses. And instead of fanning the flames of racial division within our country, Joe Biden will work to bring our country together. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris believe in our communities, and this is our moment to elect leaders who actually want to see Philadelphia succeed. That's why we all need to get out and vote. Vote! Vote! Make sure your friends vote, your neighbors, your family. Get out and vote. A victory for Joe Biden is a victory for us all. So let's make it happen. I'm excited to introduce the next president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Hello, Philadelphia. This year called Philly Strong. God love you all. Out in the rainstorm. Well, I want to thank you all. Keisha, thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for how much you and your aunt have done for this city over the years. And Denise is a Philadelphia institution. And, you know, when young people you've monitored, you've mentored, and all the folks have come along, the way you invest in the community is inspiring. And, folks, this is the city where it all started, the birthplace of American democracy. Sounds corny, but it's real. That's why I set up my headquarters here. That's why we started here. Because we learned a long time ago, every generation has to fight to keep the democracy. I never believed we'd have to fight this hard, though. I never believed it'd be this much in jeopardy. We launched our campaign over on the Oval back in May 9, 2019. But, you know, what I said then, we've been through a lot since then. What I said then is even more true today. I said what we need is a president who's willing to lead, who will insist on dramatic change for our children's sake. The single most important thing we have to do is accomplish these things. In order to get them done, we have to defeat Donald Trump. Folks, I'm honored to have with me in that fight so many wonderful friends who are here tonight, including my good friend, and he's been a good friend. His dad was a friend, his mom's a friend, his wife's a friend, the whole family, because I'm from Scranton, senator from Scranton, a guy named Bobby Casey. He's a great friend. And I want to thank Congresswoman Scanlon. Let's send her back to the House on Tuesday. And to Vice Chair Street, the Pennsylvania Dems, City Council President Clarke. And look, we've had so many of you for the energy you've poured into this election. And look, I want to also recognize one of the rising stars in our party, who's been breaking his neck for me for a long time and all day today, Malcolm Kenyatta. Kenyatta, you've been so honored to have your support throughout this campaign. And I also want to thank Philly Freeway for being here and performing. I know he's heartbroken. He's heartbroken tonight with the loss of his son. I know the pain of burying his son. And he does too now, unfortunately. And it means the world to me. He chose to be here because he thinks this election is that important. But I tell you what, you got to find purpose because when you lose a child. You know, voting is the only way we can make the world better for our children, folks. And Doc Rivers, Jill and I grew up 76ers fan. Welcome to Philly, Doc. And let's bring it home on the court and in this campaign. I've been quoting Doc Rivers, a quote he made after the shooting of Jacob Blake on the campaign trail. He asked us to imagine what it takes for a black person to love America as much as he does, and they do, and how it is the deep love for this country that so far for too long has never fully been recognized by the rest of the country. But I think the act, you know, there's two ways. I was with Barack yesterday, Florida. There's two ways people get inspired. They get inspired by inspiring leaders who do great things like Barack, and they get inspired by really bad leaders. I'm not being facetious. And they see the bad side. We need American leadership that seeks to de-escalate tensions, to open the lines of communication, to bring us together, to heal, to hope. As president, that's precisely what I will try to do. Philadelphia, 2 more days. 2 more days. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has divided this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has failed to protect this nation. In 2 days, we can put an end to a presidency that has fanned the flames of hate all across this nation. Millions of Americans have already voted, over 91 million. And millions more are going to vote in the days ahead. But there are still a lot of Pennsylvanians who haven't voted yet. We need every single one of you to get out and to vote on Tuesday. My message to you is simple. Pennsylvania is critical to this election. Last time Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, he won by 44 votes, 44,000 votes. Every single one of those votes matter. The power to change this country, not figuratively, is literally in the hands of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. Look, I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries. There's nothing that's going to stop the people of this nation from voting and voting overwhelmingly. And when America votes, America will be heard. And when America's heard, I believe the message is going to be clear. It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home. We're done with the chaos, with the tweets, with the anger, the hate, the failure, the irresponsibility. We've got a lot of work to do. And if I'm elected your president, we're going to do it. We're going to act. We're going to act to get COVID under control. On day 1 of my presidency, I'll put in action a plan I've been talking about for months. Masking, social distancing, testing, tracing. A plan for the full and fair and free distribution of therapeutics and vaccine when we get one. Imagine where we'd be if this president just wore a mask instead of mocked it from the beginning. I can tell you this, and every major health expert agrees with me, I can tell you this, we wouldn't have 9 million confirmed cases of COVID in this nation. We wouldn't have over 230,000 dead, almost 9,000 here in Pennsylvania. We wouldn't be seeing those new record numbers of cases we're seeing every day now. Nearly 100,000 cases nationwide on Friday alone. More than 2,600 of them here in Pennsylvania. It was an all-time high. We wouldn't be facing another 200,000 deaths in the next few months as the doctors predict if we don't change course. Folks, we make up 4% of the world's population. But guess what? We make up over 20% of the deaths. this president knew back in January how deadly this virus was. You may have heard me say the intelligence community briefed him on it. He said, no, I never read the briefing. Well, that didn't surprise me, that he doesn't read. But he was lying. He knew how bad it was. He hid it from the American people. He went on record. He went on record with a leading journalist. He said he knew. He knew how dangerous it was. But he lied to the American people. He knew it wasn't going to disappear. But he kept telling us a miracle's coming. It'll be gone by Easter. Goes on and on and on. He's repeatedly had the gall to suggest, just the other day, that American doctors, the people who have been on the front lines of this crisis for 9 months, along with nurses and so many others, he suggested these doctors are falsely inflating the deaths due to COVID because they want to make money. Think about that. No, I really mean think about it. The people of this nation have suffered and sacrificed for 9 months. None more so than our doctors and our frontline healthcare workers. This president questioning their character, their integrity, their commitment to their fellow Americans. It's more than offensive. It's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to say it. Especially coming from a president who's waved the white flag of surrender on the virus. His chief of staff last week said, we're going to do nothing about the virus. It's here. Our frontline healthcare workers have given all their best to this virus. Everything to beat it. Many of them have died. But we have a president who's given up. I'll never give up, nor will America give up. We'll never wave the flag of surrender. We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. But the truth is, this is not hyperbole, the truth is, to beat the virus, we first got to beat Donald Trump. He's the virus. Think about it. This guy, Trump, keeps telling us what a great job and all the jobs he's created as president, what a great president he is. Well, did you know that Obama and I created more jobs in the last 3 years of our administration than the president did in his first 3 years of his, before the pandemic? And how about this? Did you know Donald Trump is going to be the first president in 90 years who's going to finish his 4 years in office with fewer jobs under his leadership than when he started the presidency? First one in 90 years. That's a lot of presidents. That's a lot of crises. But only Trump is going to have fewer jobs at the end of his presidency than when he started. You see, I understand something Donald Trump doesn't. Wall Street did not build this country. You did. The working people of America built this country. The middle class built it. And unions built the middle class. Folks, I believe, from the bottom of my heart, if you know anything about me, I believe we should be rewarding work, not wealth in this country. Under my plan, this is God's truth, if you make less than $400,000 a year, you're not going to pay a penny more in taxes, not 1 penny, I promise you. But the wealthiest and the biggest corporations, 91 of the Fortune 500 who pay 0 tax, federal income tax, they're going to start to pay their fair share. Because, folks, why should a firefighter, an educator, a nurse, why should they pay a higher tax rate than the super wealthy, which you do, by the way? Why should you pay more in taxes than Donald Trump? Remember, the only tax return we got, he paid $750 in federal income tax. How about you? And you know what he said? When it was pointed out last year, he said, well, that's because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Jasmine as a president knows how to game the system and lay it all on you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end this crisis. It's time that we take that money that he should be paying and help you protect your health care, help you put your kid in school, help you pay your taxes. Look, we will act to protect your health care. Trump and our Republican friends just jammed through a Supreme Court nominee. You know why? They've been trying since the day we passed the act. They've been trying to destroy the Affordable Care Act. If they get their way, an estimated 1 million Pennsylvanians will lose their health insurance. Folks, no, listen. He's going into court, whether he wins or loses. He's going into court 7 days after Election Day to wipe out the Affordable Care Act. Already, because of his incompetence, 10 million people have lost their employer-based insurance because they've gone out of business. 10 million. In addition to that, he wants to take away the other 20 million people who got covered by Obamacare. 100 million Americans will lose their protections for pre-existing conditions, including 5 million of you here in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think health care is a right. Folks, I'll not only restore Obamacare, I'll build on it so we can keep your private insurance if you choose to, or choose a Medicare-like option. We'll increase subsidies to lower your premiums, deductibles, out-of-pocket spending, reduce prescription drug prices by 60%. And say, Joe, how are you going to do that? By making sure he and the multimillionaires start paying their taxes so you don't have to spend as much. And by the way, this has been confirmed by all places. Wall Street, Moody's on Wall Street said Biden's plan will create 18.6 million jobs, good-paying jobs. Will increase the GDP by $1 trillion more. We're going to make sure we keep protections for the people with pre-existing conditions. Meanwhile, something's gone unnoticed with all his lies and all the misrepresentation. He has announced that, in fact, if he gets elected, he's going to change the way we fund Social Security. The actuary of Social Security, full-time at the Social Security Administration, says if Donald Trump's plan were to be reelected gets put in place, it will bankrupt Social Security by 2023. It's a guy with a lot of heart, isn't he? It's the guy. Tell that to your parents and grandparents. Look, folks, you have my word. I'll protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and make sure your health care is covered. But, folks, look, he's done a lot of really stupid, mean things. But I think there's nothing worse that he's said or done than the way he's spoken about those of you who served in uniform. Guess what, man? He talks about you being losers and suckers. My son, Bo Biden, who was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware, gave up that job to volunteer to go to Iraq for a year, won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal in Iraq. He was not a loser. He was not a sucker. He was a patriot. Just like your sons, your daughters, your parents, your grandparents have served. This president portrays himself as a tough guy, macho man. Give me a break. But this is a president who won't even stand up to Vladimir Putin for putting bounties on the head of American soldiers serving in Afghanistan. He's too scared to challenge him. He's Putin's puppy. That's who he is. Donald Trump's not strong. This makes me angry. Donald Trump's not strong. He's weak. He commands virtually no respect on the international stage. Think about this. When's the last time you ever heard of a president showing up to the UN and being laughed at by the entire international community? A president who showed up, I'm not making this up, a president who showed up at our NATO meeting where our NATO allies, the heads of state of our NATO nations, were making fun of him. This is a president who not only doesn't understand sacrifice, he doesn't understand courage, the physical courage it takes to serve in uniform. Maybe that's why the 6 generals, most 4-stars and admirals who worked in the administration have since left and said he's unfit to be the commander-in-chief. That's never happened before. And that's why the former Joint Special Operations Commander, General Stanley McChrystal, former Commander of Special Operations in the SEALs, who oversaw bin Laden's raid, Admiral Bill McCraven, along with 22 other 4-stars, endorsed me, saying they support me and they trust me as their commander-in-chief. Look, you have my word, I will support our military. They're our backbone, they're our sinew, they're our life. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to support them. And look, and we have to vote. We have to vote to meet this climate crisis. You know, Donald Trump, when he hears climate, he thinks hoax. I see it being about jobs, health care, and safety. The impacts of climate change too often fall disproportionately on communities of color. We're going to make sure communities that benefit by the hundreds of billions of dollars in federal investment in infrastructure and climate change. We're going to create local jobs, rebuild our roads, fill our sidewalks, install broadband, create spaces to live in, work in, and play in safely. He doesn't get it. The West is burning. More of our forests have been lost in the combined territory of Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. Superstorms in the Midwest, wiping out whole communities, flooding. In the East Coast, you know what's happening. We have a circumstance where in the South, we find ourselves with more hurricanes, more vicious hurricanes. When the president was told that's because the waters of the Atlantic are opening up, or warming up, you know what he said? Well, maybe we could stop it by dropping some atomic bombs on them. Oh, by the way, it's the same guy. You'll appreciate this being from Philly. The same guy who said the problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Stable genius. Stable genius. Look, we'll act to deliver on racial justice as well. Protesting is not burning or looting or violating and can't be tolerated, and it won't. But these protests are a cry for justice. The names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Walter Wallace Jr., they're not going to be forgotten soon. Not by me, not by you, not by the American people. And they'll inspire a new wave of justice in America. Folks, we can do this. There's nothing beyond our capacity. So honk if you want America to lead again. Honk if you want to trust Americans to begin to trust each other again. And honk if you want America to be united again. Folks, we can't afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. I believe this country has to come together. When I announced, not far from here, my candidacy, I said I was doing it for 3 reasons. One, to restore the soul, decency in the White House, the soul of America. I said I was running to rebuild the backbone of America, hard-working middle-class folks, and bring everybody along this time. And I said I was running to unite America. People said, Joe, you used to be able to do that, but it can't be done anymore. Well, if it can't be done anymore, we're in trouble. I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'll govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do. That's the job of a president, a duty to care for everyone. No red states, no blue states, the United States. So please vote. If you have an absentee ballot, get it to a drop box as soon as you can. Or if you can, vote on Election Day. Make a plan. Go to iwillvote.com/PA. Folks, I'll never forget what John Kennedy said. My colleagues in the Senate used to kid me because I remind them of it. Why he's going to the moon. He said, because this is America. And in America, we refuse to postpone opportunities. Well, I refuse to postpone the incredible opportunities available in America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. There's no limit to America's future. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been trying to do from the beginning. Dividing us in America. Pitting us, Americans, against one another based on race, religion, gender, ethnicity, national origin. Wrong. That's not who we are. Look, everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Let's show them who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. And yes, we choose truth over lies. So folks, it's time to stand up. Take back our democracy. We can do this. We're better than this. We're so much better. The United States of America is who we are. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, one more thing. Every time I'd walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, Joey, keep the faith. And my grandmother, if she's alive, she knows, she'd say, Joey, no, spread it. Go spread the faith. We can do this.